What happens when you experiment a little too much with MIDI and electric bass guitar? You get a Roland G77 bass guitar. In that video I will show you something unusual. This is an instrument that was designed and produced by Roland over 40 years ago. Futuristic idea from the time when music engineers were experimenting and the tech was just there to deliver you unforgettable musical adventure. This instrument, or rather series of instruments, came up in late 70s and 80s using unified interface that was created in 1983. I'm talking about MIDI. MIDI is a language that allows electronic instruments to talk to each other, like a language that tells you what pitch you have to play, what length of the note you can play, and so many others. But let me start from the beginning. If you bought a Roland G77 bass guitar back in the day, you would get a very good electric instrument. It looks very futuristic even today. It looks like someone was imagining that we would live in a world with flying cars and interstellar commercial flights. It looks like very fast glasses. It has very large Gotoh tuners, a quite slim neck, 32-inch scale, 24 frets or maybe 23 frets, 4 strings. That one has white pearl body finish, small but aerodynamically looking body, a heavy bridge, way too many knobs here, 2 pickups looking suspiciously normal, strange looking second neck, baffling indeed. What is it for? Take a guess. I found out that this bridge is an acoustic bridge that helps this guitar to get rid of unwanted resonances. That feature plays a crucial role, but I will tell you in a minute or so. Rhymes. It has a jack output if you want to connect it as a normal electric bass. I am plugging it straight to the audio interface right here. And it sounds quite interesting. Overall, I think that's very good and solid playing bass with an interesting sound. It plays very well, sits in hand quite good. Only little flaw is you can't really sit that bass on your lap. Body of the bass is too small and the shape doesn't help. But I got used to it after some time and you can always use a strap. Beside that jack output, it has a very distinctive looking socket. That socket has 24 pins that transmit various signals. Do you remember I told you about that large bridge? It turns out that it has a lot of electronic goodies inside. That bridge knows what the strings you are playing at what pitch. The 80s, ladies and gentlemen. Signals from that socket goes further away to the special unit and they go through that cable. That cable isn't original. Unfortunately, those plastic things were breaking like crazy. Lucky for us, there is a company that can 3D print that parts and send you that cable right away. So that cable goes to the bass guitar, and at the other end you have to plug into the MIDI converter. That unit is called Roland GM-70. It's a device in a 32-inch rack format. It translates signals from that 24-pins cable to MIDI signals like note start and stop, pitch, but also MIDI CC and program changes and some other stuff. I feel that this unit was primarily designed for Roland electric guitar, not bass guitar, but it works quite smoothly with that bass guitar. I really like those buttons, they feel like from a radio of the 90s car. And the sonic brain of that whole chain of instruments is Roland GR50. You may know the series of Rolands like GR500, Guitar Synthesizer or Roland GK2. It's a whole family of the electronic guitar to synthesizer chain devices. I found some informations and 40-year-old user manuals. You can find the links in the description down below. The user manuals are very good. They talk about synthesis and how to program all the GR50 device. I recommend to read that stuff because it's very interesting if you're into that kind of stuff. Roland recommends the GK2 device for GR50 unit, but I'm using GM70 instead. At first, it wasn't easy for me to get that machinery to work, but after some trials and errors, I found that quickest way to control the synthesizer module is from MIDI Converter. I'm choosing an option Poly and then first MIDI channel. I am changing a program changes to pick patches from the GR50. I'm sure that there is a better way to navigate through those sounds and patches and different parts, but for now this is the quickest way for me. In the manual I found that GR50 is multi-timbral, and you can control different instruments from different strings of the bass. Can't relate yet, but here are some sounds I can produce with it.
Stairway to Heaven? Ale ty się nagrywasz?
Tak, właśnie, I'm live. The type of the synthesis is digital. Roland refers it to as LA Synth, LN synthesis or LA Synth, which stands for linear arithmetic synthesis. The big thing about it is it gives you repeatable results and you can mix two and I think more partials of the sounds together. You can program it. The big thing about it is it gives you repeatable results and you can mix two and more partials of the sounds together. You can program it so in that way one partial is doing the different thing than another partial is doing. For example, you are playing on one string and one partial is playing up octave, different sound, and the second partial is playing down octave, different sound or making different things. Let me know if you want to know more about how to program such a thing. The way those sounds are organized is well described in the user manuals. You can find the links down below. This is the first patch. It is some swelling pads. It sounds like a digital synth, but very pleasant. The best part of playing on that guitar synth is that you have a feeling of playing on a real vibrating instrument. But the sounds that are coming are from GR50, so they're like digital synth sounds, and you have a vibrating thing in your hands. The experience of playing that is unusual, but I think it's very idea-provoking. So you hear the instruments vibrating, you feel it from the bass, but the sound is synthetic. I don't know how to describe it, but I think that is worth to play that instrument if you have a chance. Quite nice and idea-provoking. I can't really compare it to anything. When you play on a keyboard, then you just hear the sounds from the speakers. But here you have vibrating, living thing in your hands. I think it's like you have in your hands a keyboard that is vibrating, so kind of like you're playing grand piano. You hit the key and you feel the resonance from the grand piano or upright piano or whatever. I think there are 180 sounds programmed, and you can buy I hope so, you can still buy a memory card and you can program some more sounds there. How quick does this gear perform? You can feel latency, especially when you're playing sounds with quick attack or percussive sounds. Now you will hear the bass guitar itself from the cable, straight the interface, and the percussive sound. And when you play down below, the latency is way bigger than you play here. So if you want to play the lowest string, when I measure it, it looks like it has like 70 or 80 milliseconds and feels like it. You hear it like 1/16 notes after you play the string. But if you play here, the latency is quite pleasant. You can control it, but over here 70 milliseconds, no way. So if you want to play some complicated rhythm here, sorry, but for me it's too much. But a simple groove in a slow tempo, I think it's possible. If you want to play some leads or chords, it's good to consider to do it around 12th fret, like that. Sometimes this unit kinda bleeds MIDI signals and you can hear some glitches or interesting artifacts. You have to be very precise in playing your phrases, because if you don't mute your strings, wild glitches will appear. Yeah, something like that. The most pleasant to play are sounds without quick attack. You can choose from leads, brass, bells and organs and many other sounds. I think this is very inspiring instrument. It sounds like Roland from 80s and it's provoking you to play new things. The design, the playability and the idea, I think it's still a top instrument. I will play you some demo using only the sounds from GR50. The demo will be in 85 BPM because it's 80s, so why not? Yeah, I'm that brave. Thank you for watching and see you on the top charts.